Long Island City was created as a city of its own on May 4th of 1870. It was part of the County of Queens, and it had its own mayor and board of representatives. Long Island City, or LIC for short, continued to exist as such until 1898, when Queens was annexed to the city of Greater New York. Through the 1930s, 3 subway tunnels, the Queens Midtown Tunnel and the Queensboro Bridge, were built to connect the neighborhood to Manhattan, and many factories and bakeries opened in the area. However, by the 1970s, the factories in Long Island City were being abandoned and the area needed to be revitalized. Finally, in 2001, the neighborhood was rezoned from an industrial neighborhood to a residential one. Since then, there has been substantial commercial and residential growth in Long Island City, with 41 new residential apartment buildings being built just between 2010 and 2017. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Flor and I post new videos every single week, every Wednesday, talking about working for yourself, talking about productivity, books, content creation, and of course, talking about life in New York City. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, don't forget to do so by hitting the subscribe button down below and the notification bell to be notified of every new video I upload on this channel every single week. Long Island City was the first place I lived when I first moved to New York, and because of that, it holds a very special place in my heart. At the end of last year, I posted a video showing our apartment in Long Island City, and I know a lot of people have come to this channel and have discovered it through that video and through searching Long Island City on YouTube. So considering that I lived in Long Island City for 3 years, I thought I'd share my top 5 favorite spots in the neighborhood. Now, and before we get started with these 5 places I recommend you visit in LIC, I thought I'd share a bit about the area. Long Island City is part of the borough of Queens, and it's located on the extreme western tip of this borough. It is bordered by Astoria to the north, the East River to the west, Hazen Street, 49th Street, and New Calvary Cemetery in Sunnyside to the east, and Newtown Creek, which separates Greenpoint, Brooklyn from Queens to the south. Long Island City is not to be confused with Long Island. Long Island City is here in the map and Long Island is over there. Although the name LIC originally comes from Long Island, nowadays these are 2 very different areas, not to be confused with one another. Although still to this day, many people do. So how can you get there? There are subway lines that go into Long Island City with different subway stops. There's the 7 line that stops at Vernon Boulevard, Jackson Avenue, Hunters Point Avenue, Core Square, and Queensboro Plaza. The E and M lines that stop at Core Square and Queens Plaza. The N and W lines that stop at Queensboro Plaza and Queens Plaza. The R line that stops at Queen Plaza. The F line that stops at 21st Street, Queensbridge. And finally, the G line that stops at 21st Street and Core Square. And of course, being a neighborhood that's right on the water, you can also get to Long Island City by ferry. The area has 2 different ferry stops, one in the north called Long Island City and one in the south called Hunters Point South. Now that you know about the origins of Long Island City, where it is located, how you can get there, and where the name comes from, let's move on to my top 5 places that I recommend you visit in the area. First of all, Gantry Plaza State Park is a 12-acre park on the East River riverside that has amazing views of the Midtown Manhattan skyline, including the Empire State Building and the United Nations Building. The name Gantry State Plaza comes from the gantries. A gantry is a bridge-like overhead structure with a platform that supports equipment such as a crane, signals, or cameras. As mentioned before, Long Island City has a past as an industrial neighborhood, and because of that, it had gantries where boats could come in and deliver goods. Although the neighborhood has now changed more into a residential and commercial neighborhood, the gantries are still there, and they have the name of the neighborhood, and they're part of the area, and they give name to this park. Gantry State Plaza is a great place to take a walk. With the city as a backdrop, the park is an amazing place to visit both in spring, summer, fall, and winter, and see how the season changes. The second place that I recommend you visit is located located within Gantry State Plaza, and it's the Pepsi Cola Sign. PepsiCo, formerly known as Pepsi Cola, had a factory in Long Island City since 1937. In 1940, they had the sign that you can now see on the waterfront installed on top of their factory. It had the name of the company, Pepsi Cola, and a bottle of Pepsi on the right side. Although PepsiCo left the area and closed the factory by the year 2000, it retained ownership of the sign and stipulated that it should stay on the Long Island City waterfront. After that, the sign was dismantled and then restored back again, and in 2009 it was put in its final position on the waterfront of Long Island City. And finally, in 2016, the sign was designated as a New York City landmark. The sign itself is pretty nice. It has red neon lights at night, which is great for photos, and being a landmark of the neighborhood and the neighborhood's past as an industrial area, I think it's a great place to visit and it should definitely be on your list. The third place I recommend you visit is located also within Gantry State Plaza, and it's the Piers. Long Island City and Gantry State Plaza have 4 different piers, and there you can see the famous gantries that I mentioned before and that give name to the park. The piers are also amazing to see the Manhattan skyline both during the day and at night, and there's also a fishing pier where you can go down and fish, of course, with its own cleaning table. Where the gantries and the piers are, there's an amazing, fantastic plaza where there's live music and activities for kids and teenagers, and where you can also get ice cream in the summer. Now, moving on to recommendations of places number 4 and number 5, we are going to be talking about food and my favorite 2 places to eat in the area. My favorite one and my recommendation number 4 is going to be Cafe Henri. This is a cafe located in the corner of 50th Avenue and Vernon Boulevard, right across the subway stop of the 7 line called Vernon Boulevard, Jackson Avenue. Cafe Henri, as you may have guessed from the name, is a French restaurant that specializes in crepes and other classic French plates. They also have amazing coffee, and if you want some typical, more American breakfast or brunch like scrambled eggs and bacon, if you want to try that, this is definitely my favorite place, and the service is really good. During normal times, they have tables in the inside of the restaurant, and they also have some tables on the outside if you want to go with your dog, for example. And they also have delivery and they have pickup. And the 5th and last place I wanted to recommend in today's video is called Bareburger. It's also a place to eat, and as you may have guessed, it's a place that specializes in burgers. It is located in the corner of 49th Avenue and Vernon Boulevard, just 1 block from the 7 subway stop called Vernon Boulevard, Jackson Avenue that I mentioned before. This place offers all kinds of burgers. I'm not even kidding. They have very different types of meat if you prefer that, but they also have plenty of vegetable options. They do have some burgers on the menu that you can choose from, but what I like the most about this place is that they have an option where you can create your own burger from scratch. The service here is also really good, and they have good prices for the area and what they offer. They have dining options both indoors and outdoors, and they also offer delivery and pickup. So these are the 5 top spots that I recommend you visit. Even if you just go to Long Island City for a couple of hours because you are trying to visit and see the whole city in maybe a week or 2 weeks, I recommend you stop by these 5 spots, or at least 4 of them. Maybe not have lunch in both of the places I recommended, but just one of them. I really hope you like this video. I like talking about Long Island City because I lived there for 3 years and I think I've seen almost everything that there is to see. And as I said before, this neighborhood is one that has a very special place in my heart because it was my first home in New York City. If you like this video, of course, do let me know down below in the comments. Let me know if you'd like for me to do a second part of this video with 5 different spots to visit in Long Island City. And let me know if you know these places, if you've ever been to Long Island City. You can see more about New York in my Instagram account, which is Flo Pereira, as you can see over here. And I also leave tips about the area in the hashtag #FloorTipsNewYork. Everything will be linked down below from my Instagram account, this hashtag I mentioned, and there will also be links to the 5 places I mentioned down below in the description box if you want to read more about these places. I hope you like this video. If that was the case, of course, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And as always, I will see you on the next one. Bye!